Hey guys, my name is Zeniac and welcome back to another episode as your boy tries to fix the first ever city that I created, and last episode went really well. We learned a lot from the first episode on what went down. In the second episode we started to implement a bunch of fixes here, there and everywhere, and we finally got the traffic to be consistently within the low 60%, and we pretty much sorted out a whole industrial area and the downtown section. But the only thing that is kind of pushing against us is one, how big this city is, so it takes a while for stuff to simulate and happen. And when I do implement a fix, it takes a good 5-10 minutes before we start to see the benefits, because again, the game is so slow and it's simulating so slow as well. But we are going to push on forward and we're going to move on to the second big industrial area where we are seeing a ton of traffic. Now we've got a bunch of fixes that we need to implement, and if you guys do enjoy this and want to see more of me fixing the first ever city that I created, then please make sure you smash that like button down below, and if you are new around here, then make sure you do subscribe so you are notified when the next episode comes out. So before we get started, your boy needs to take a big sip of tea. Hold on. Damn, it feels good to be British. And we are going to implement our first stages. Now, since last episode, because we sorted this junction out right now, which is becoming heavily used, what I've now implemented in next is the fact that I'm now allowing them to make right-hand turns, and before, the roads underneath were like dead straight, like you were stuck in their lane. And what was happening, these guys are making a left-hand turn, they were stuck in this lane, then exiting straight back out. So now I've sorted that out, and we seem to see quite a bit of traffic now using this, which is fine. It's no issues. What's kind of causing this is because now it can turn left, it kind of backs up this traffic, which then backs up this traffic turning, which then backs up that traffic. What I can do is put in some giveaway signs to make people wait, or ultimately just throw in some traffic lights. But I'm going to leave that for just a hot minute, because the fixes that I'm now about to implement might slowly clear some stuff. I've also done the same with this junction. We've added in these slip roads, the dedicated turning lanes. So it's a shame they're not using this more, but it's more the fact that what this junction does, they can go straight over and then they've got to do a right-hand turn. But we've got many fixes. This is not what I want to focus on this episode. What I want to focus on is this monstrosity that's going down right now. So we got a lot of traffic. We kind of played around with some stuff last episode just to try and clear it a little bit before I could implement today's fix in. But ultimately what they're doing is they're kind of traveling under here, hooking up to there, which eventually takes them over in this direction to this downtown section, or all the way up to connect up to the highway. Now what we need to do is we need to create a highway connection here. We also need to hook up these two cargo harbors right now to the train network, and I need to implement in some train cargo hubs as well, or cargo terminal should I say, that enables them not to then drive to here or to wherever. They can throw the cargo on the train and the train network can take them to where they need to get to. I need to utilize trains more in the city, because we found that train fix over here was a huge help. So that's what we're going to do today then, and we're going to start then by whacking it into pause. Whack it into pause, and we're going to actually delete this little bit of a train track right now. And I'm actually going to delete the road underneath, because I'm going to make the road go above instead. Now, I don't want to, and this is the argument I keep having to make with myself. It's very easy for me to delete all this road and set up a better network, but I want to try and keep my city, because this was the first ever city that I created. Oh, also, this is a one-way road, by the way. I want to keep this as honest and as, what's the word I'm looking for? I want to try and keep it the exact same as when I first created it. I don't want to ruin, I don't want to take away from what I was creating. I just kind of want to fix it. So I don't want to take away what I did to it. I want to try and make it as authentic. That's the word I'm looking for. I want to try and make it as authentic as possible, as this is the first thing I created. Because if I just delete everything and rebuild stuff, then I'm taking away with what my original ideas were. So this is going to be a bit funky right now, this. It really is right now. But if I bring it down to there, for example, and then bring it, let's say, a little bit further up to there. I do the same thing here, kind of the same distances. And then we'll flip that one round. Right, so we have an exit and we have an inlet road just at the moment, until I set the rest of it all up. What I'll do is, as that's the inlet road here, we'll then bulk that into a dedicated turning lane. And I'll do the same just here as it merges into one. Now, we need to implement something very similar on this side. So if I do it going back slightly and cut it into there. Now, this is going to be quite a sharp turn. Right, so if I push that over to there instead, because of how it's coming off and leading off, I don't want to lead it onto the bridge. And obviously, I have to anarchy this now right there. Bam. Get that in there. So we've got dedicated turning lanes. And then we want to implement the same thing going this way. Okay, what we got selected there? Let's turn that back on there. Turn the anarchy off. Okay, maybe we got to turn it back on. Oh, it's a bit funky over here right now, isn't it? I think it's the whole how this section here connects. Let me delete that. And turn it back on. Oh, it really doesn't like that connection, does it? I think because of how the road then bends round. So if I push the connection down a little bit further. Oh, what's going on now? Game, what are you doing? Turn the anarchy off. I think it actually might be this section here. Oh, there was two. Excuse me, boy. Excuse me right now. That's what it was. That was the only issue I had then. Was the game was saying to me that there was two things connected. Right, let's go back to how we originally was. So, that goes to there. Ignore what's going down. I'll bring it slightly out. Right, let me get this off. Because that allows you to kind of freely move it a bit more. And then we'll bring that down to there. Oh, I forgot to turn it back on. There's a lot of stuff going. There's a lot of moving parts in this one right now. Right, hold on a minute. Because it is a bit funky. Right, it is definitely a little bit funky what's going down. But, ta-da! So the reason I've done those little dedicated turning sections is because... Now, is it worthwhile? I think it might be worthwhile then me turning this section here into a 4-laner. So how it's going to work is if I bring up the lane management, yeah, that's not how I wanted it to go. Let's scrap that. There we go. So that road goes straight on. This road here goes straight on. Does it? I think I might be getting this all confused right now. But that is meant to turn here. Oh, there we go. Sorry. There we go. There and there. And then this lane here can turn that direction. So then that is straight on. That is straight on. Now, I could have kept that as the 6-lane road. But we're kind of losing a lane here as it turns. And these are going straight flat on. Because as it gets over this side, the same thing happens again. So that becomes straight on there. That becomes the turn there and straight on. That is that turn. That is that turn. That is straight on. That is straight on. If the traffic is a bit too much, I might resort that back to being a 6-lane road. Turn the traffic lights off for just a hot minute. Now, without me doing any kind of sorting out all these ramps and whatnot, it's all over the place. I know it's all over the place right now. You ain't got to tell me. But just give it a hot minute to kind of update their new routes. The vehicles are jumping. Oh, wait, hold on. The train tracks. Train tracks, guys. Right, what we're going to do for this is we're going to make it go underground. So if I could go by -10 straight away to here, bring it all the way over. And actually, it goes underground here. So if I keep it going underground, train tracks, no problemo. I'm seeing a couple of vehicles just flying around in circles right now. You okay, vehicles? Are you okay right now? I don't know if they are. But by having that now connection, dedicated connection to the highway, those are still spinning around. What are they doing? Guys, we've broken the game. We've broken the game. And it also allows us to also drive back over this way. So it's now just down to me enabling and easing is the correct word, the traffic out of this region. Now, what I've noticed earlier is this is the only outlet here onto this road. There is no other outlet unless you're kind of coming across to drive through all this. So I'm thinking, and we just simply do a connection there, just like that, as a secondary option to bring them in and out, vice versa. But it'll take a while again to start clearing all of this. It will slowly take a while. Now this junction here, is there any management on this right now? Not at the minute. So we could say that is straight on. That is also straight on. That is a dedicated turning lane there. That is a dedicated turning lane here. And then this one could probably go either way. Like that, and then that goes here. And I'll let these guys here, that goes there, that goes there, straight on and straight on. So it's a bit funky, but I don't know whether we should turn on traffic lights for this. Did I turn them on or just turn them off? No, I turned them off. Right, turn them back on. And let it naturally filter itself out. I could like make it a little bit more easy. I could do manual traffic lights and whatnot and kind of get it all set up, but I don't think I want to go down that route just yet. I could do time traffic lights as well, but again, I don't want to go down that route just yet. I could also get rid of traffic lights and then maybe set up where this side here and that side gives way for those vehicles pushing on through. And it is literally just to allow us to get the vehicles moving. Once I've cleared the backlog, I might then choose, right, those give way, choose different methods and how we approach this. But that is the consensus to begin with. We have a highway connection, which not only does it allow vehicles to exit onto the highway a bit easier, but it also allows vehicles to then come off the highway to exit on this little section. Now, granted, I got to sort some of this slopedness out, which is not going to be pretty because of the angles and whatnot. See what I mean? It's not going to be pretty. It is what it is at the end of the day. I'm sure I put a give way sign on this. Oh, hold on. You guys meant to give way. Oh, they can't give way because what's going on down here? Right, turn that off. And then that should pass through. It's waiting for those guys to make that right-hand turn. Damn, this is messed up right now, isn't it? It really is. So maybe I go back to making... Yeah, I'm going to have to go back to making this then the 3-lane road. Right, reason for that being is... Like, for example, here, they're trying to make that turn. If I make that a dedicated turn here, and these are the dedicated going forward roads. You get it? Right, bam. Bam, bam. Same over here. Dedicated turn in here. This is to go straight ahead. No questions asked. Keep it plain. Keep it simple. Keep it basic. And then that should slowly clear the vehicles through. They're all packed in. They're all jammed. They're all going in different directions. So we just have to give it some time. And as much as as much as I don't want to stick traffic lights on, I'm thinking I'm going to do it just for the sake of having some order. Because my big issue is I've got to clear this backlog. Once this backlog is gone, I won't have the demand this junction has right now. The demand for this junction will then heavily reduce. And then we won't have any issues or problems. So traffic lights are now on, which means that these guys are going to be pushing forward. They didn't last very long. Oh no, now they're pushing forward. So they will start to move, vehicles moving other ways. And this is what I mean by the game simulates so slow. Even if I did try to fast forward it, nothing's really going to happen. But yeah, we'll give this time now to clear through. Once that backlog is gone, this junction won't see the demand it has. There won't be as many vehicles using it as there is right now. So it's just one of those things, you have to give it time. Now, I think what I can do is get the traffic lights off of this junction, because there's not going to be too much demand for that right now. And let's focus on the train network then, while this slowly starts to clear itself. So what I want to do then is I want to initially get these cargo harbours hooked up to the train network, so it stops vehicles then driving to get to them. I also want to drop in at least 2 cargo train stations terminals within here, thus to reduce the train stuff as well. So if I was to do that, I gotta get rid of that tunnel as well. I no longer need it. Right, let me just kind of quickly view this. So I want one facing one side and one side facing the other, like what we did in the other area. But I don't, let me turn the anarchy off. I don't think I've got enough room really, have I? I haven't. So we're going to have to slightly reduce the area. So if I pause it and delete that section, pause it and delete this section, what I'm then selecting it to do is have a train line just there. Actually, we'll have it like this. We'll have this one here on this side. And this one there. So one's there, which is for this surrounding area. One's here for this surrounding area. And it will then should hopefully allow me to set up my little network. So let's start elevated. And we'll start over here by 10. And this is going to... Oh, actually, I can't do it like that, can I? Right, we'll push it from, say, here. Have this going across right now to there. And then I want to elevate this up to plus 10 and pause it a minute. As you have that then funnel round. And it's a bit all mental all over the place, but this is what we did in the last area and it kind of worked. I say kind of worked. It did work, Seniac. What are you talking about? So bridging that directly out of that area. Then we have these trains that can then just literally take the rail and just drop into those areas a whole lot easier. Now, guys, we're still not connected up to this network just yet, but don't worry just yet, guys. So what I do here is I can then simply make it connect underground. So by giving it a bit of space, bring it to about there and have a long enough stretch to go there and there. So we've got to make sure that that is borderline a train's length, which I think it might be. You know what? It actually is not. So that's what we kind of got to do. We got to give it, when you do like a Y connection like this, you got to make sure it's a train's length. So when they're stopped at the junctions, you know, they're able to then pass through. So there's not a train being stuck as one's trying to turn in. So that will allow us then to bring cargo in and out. But then I also need to connect it over to this. Now, this is the hard one, the difficult one, because these are so awkwardly placed right now. Now, that is my own fault. Well aware of that. It is my own fault. Look at the traffic now gone from this side. Sweet, mate. Sweet. So we have to kind of do something a little bit magic. So I might just have to make it kind of do a little Y here to come across down. Just keep it as basic as ever. It's not going to be pretty. I mean, then again, this whole city is not pretty. Remember that. We just got to do what is possible and what should hopefully work. So bring that to there. And we'll choose then a connection here to go down to just there. And then we want to do a large Y that way, a large Y this way to make sure it's a train's length on the turn. There we go. And then that. Straight like that. I'm telling you guys, it's weird, isn't it? Now, do I connect both of them up? It gets a little bit more difficult trying to connect both of them up. But then I could ultimately... Does get a bit funky, doesn't it? So what I could do is I could have maybe this one here. So I don't want to connect it there because I'm just causing issues of trains trying to pass through that one. And obviously I can't make it... Well, why is that so high? You're way too high. Alright, so there. And then we'll make it go underground, under that bridge. Right. And then we'll elevate it up to +10. Straight across. And then exit that way. Mental. It's all over the place. You haven't got to tell me, okay, guys? You haven't got to tell me how ridiculous, right, that is. You haven't got to tell your boy. I know. I am fully aware. But we'll give it some time. Because, again, we got to wait for them to understand, oh, you can export from that area. And then for the trains to then become involved. But this is now slowly moving. So what I'm thinking of doing right now then is maybe turning the traffic lights off of this one. And do we still have the junction restrictions on there? So you give way for the vehicles coming across. Slowly get some movement on this side. And then the traffic lights would deal with the rest over there. Hopefully we get some movement. I mean, it's slowly working. But there is that much traffic in here we got to try and clear. It's going to take some time. But there's a train now coming in. So hopefully they then start throwing the stuff on the train. And it will reduce the amount of vehicles then jumping on the back of the trail. So yeah. Yep. Traffic is looking pretty good round here. And does it lead down to here? I don't see much issues down here right now. But would it be worth... It's a weird little turn off there. Some of the stuff that I've done in the past, when I was building this city, my future brain's like, Cynic, what are you doing? What have you done right now? What are you doing right now, boy? But again, it's slowly moving. Backlog's trying to lead back out again. So it's just slowly moving, isn't it? It's just a matter of waiting for that backlog to, ideally, just slowly clear. So there's no point me looking at it, watching it, trying to add more stuff in, because it's working. It's just happened to be such a huge line yet to go into it. So I think we'll leave this area as it is for now, and we'll come back a little bit later to see what progress it's made by clearing all the vehicles then through. Now, granted, that will cause issues in the long run if we don't get it... Well, as time goes on, that will cause a slow backup. But, again, once it all moves, it should slowly clear through anyway. So, I'm not too worried right now. This junction's still ticking along slowly. No issues over here. I know we had issues with this roundabout, which seemed to have died down. I think that's now more the fact that we allowed them to come down here and do a turn that way and do a turn that way. And stop them going all the way up, down to here to go around there and in. So I'm seeing some improvements there. Not saying that I've now got a better traffic flow, but I'm still at 63%. So hopefully when that's shifted, it should increase up. And I know it is because the backlog was by this bridge just a minute ago. Now it's reducing. So only time will tell, boys. Only time will tell. But I'm seeing cargo trains now leaving this area, which shows me vehicles are now moving in. So every vehicle that goes to a train station is one less leaving the region. Right, okay, I'm going to get too fixated on that area. We'll kind of leave it for now. But I did notice this as well. We still haven't managed to clear the backlog right now. And they're ultimately going around here to go up to either turn off or kind of go into this junction. Now, we do have a little bit of a backlog for this junction as it's pulling in. But that's not the whole reason for this. Now, is that the only exit for this area? It looks to be that is the exit there. There is that one there, but they've still got to pass through this. I did delete this one. Is that backlog coming back up here again? We've got to sort that out too. Not using that. And these are these inlet roads? That's an outlet road there. Inlet. Okay. And that's short. That's like just mainly passing through. Okay. Right, let's just sort the root cause out first. Which does seem to be this. And the problem is we've got the turn directly after this. Well, yeah, by this, which is not too good for these guys. So what if I tried to implement it or move it a little bit further up the road? Reducing the backlog here, which can eventually cause a, you know, a tailback all the way going. So if I did that and create like a little ramp that came off and whacked it into there, I might then throw too much traffic on this roundabout because then we've got the backlog going through the middle. Ah, okay, right. I know what the issue is. Not to say that it's going to solve all this, but think back to when we sorted this region out and I was getting rid of all the little roads and the big junctions to make sure that they can all flow through nice and easy. I didn't do this area, did I? No, I didn't. So I'm going to pause for a minute and delete all the connections around the junctions. So then these are the connections around here. That will then make them roads a little bit easier to navigate. So get rid of you. Get rid of you. I'll keep that one in. I'll keep that one in there. I'll keep that one in. But on the major junctions, we don't need them. Nor do we need them there. So it allows them to flow through and then take their turn-ins and whatnot. So get rid of that one there. I'll keep that one in because there's not too much traffic around here. So I'll keep a couple in here, there, and everywhere. But we don't want too many of them. So let's put it back into play mode for that. So we've got a couple moved around right now, which should alleviate the flow of the traffic around like said junction. Traffic lights are on it. I like to turn the traffic lights off just to initially get them to flow through. And oh, there's traffic lights on this roundabout. No wonder. This is a really weird roundabout as well because the roads, you can go both ways in both directions, which I find amazing. How did I think this was a good idea building that roundabout? I don't know. It could, not, I mean, not to say it's going to work, but could you imagine if it was actually a really good system? That would be so funny. So I got to think, why don't I just do a simple crisscross? But as of right now, it is... Oh, I didn't mean to click on you, damn Frolio. It is kind of maneuvering, right? That's all I can say. It is kind of maneuvering right now. It's doing what it needs to do. Which is beyond me. It really is beyond me. But yeah, I do need to clear the backlog anyway. So, right, let me kind of get to grips with this. It looks like to me a lot of them are coming round this way to go up, to go round there and then go in that direction. That is what it looks like to me right now. So I need a way that way they could potentially maybe bypass this area to get onto that strip of the highway. So, which, then again, it doesn't really stop any impeding traffic coming from that direction, but that seems to be kind of pushing through a little bit easier right now. I'm getting rid of this anyway, because this is amazing. Like, I can't believe how... I can't believe I even thought about building something like that. That just blows my mind that that was a possibility. It really is. It really is right now. I'm going to do a couple of restrictions on this. Like, for example, you can't cross the road right now because I just want the traffic to flow through. I am going to get rid of the traffic lights, and the only lane dictation I'm going to put on this is for... Oh, I'm still on traffic lights. Oh, no, still on traffic lights. Why can't I click that button? Is for you turn there, and you go straight ahead. Because I want to see out of those 3 lanes, and if I implement going 2 back, you got to be in that certain lane. I just want to see if it is the majority turning left and none of them were using the left-hand lane to also go straight. So I'll just give it like a couple of seconds to kind of update what's going down. But if they are mainly trying to turn left, then we're going to do something about this. We're going to create something so they can go straight ahead and then turn to get onto this area. Because having this too close to that junction, by the looks of it, is not healthy. It is definitely not healthy. So I'm just waiting a hot minute. So yeah, they're all still turning left, so that is what's ultimately going down. Now, what I could do, what building's this? Okay, that's a landmark, there's some crematoriums. I could build maybe below it a roundabout that has slip roads onto it around this area. There's plenty of room to do it. But I don't know whether that's going to be the greatest thing to do for that. Are we slowly clearing the traffic though, just by setting up? Because then again, I'm not to say that that's going to be that will save us all the issues. But the traffic would slowly dissipate just by getting rid of the roundabout there. Now, I'm not being stopped and being backed up, but again, it's the same issue we had in the industrial areas. There's a huge backlog that I've got to try and clear first. So I think we'll just see what this does, because it doesn't harm us going down there, then doing a right turn and going around this way, and then skedaddling where they need to get to. And same with this. This flows in just fine, but it's just that closeness. It kind of then slows the traffic down. But it was to originally get rid of all this, so maybe I get these guys onto the highway in a different location. Yeah. The more I look at this area right now, the less traffic is around these streets leading out. So we're almost to a point where we've cleared the backlog. That's looking really healthy, this area. So yeah, let's sort this out then. So the majority of the people are trying to get out, to get up in this direction, to possibly get in over there. Now, if I did delete this inlet road here, what are their options? If they went this way, their option then is to turn off there to come in this way. Or if they joined that way, went up to here, went round and up and into there. So what I could do is maybe use this road here to create a generic bridge that goes across the highway to hook up to this road. That will then reduce the need to jump onto said highway. Hang on, there's a crematorium right there. And then reduce, and also create an additional route is what will happen as well. So up by 10, go across, down by 10, there we go, and to there. Now what it also does is it creates then the connection that they can go across here, turn in to go up and over, also come over here, turn out to go in that direction, and also then stops them going through this bit because they can potentially go straight over and then straight across. Now, not going to solve all the issues. We are going to see backlogs over here, but by adding that little crisp plus 6 section right here, I've cleared all the backlog going down. Now, I take it there is traffic lights here, which there is, and get rid of there, so allow them to flow through, and then we'll just see what happens with that. We've got to give them time to realize that they can now take that option. But I still keep that in anyway, because not everyone's going to want to try and take that option. So it'll be quite fun to see. So, management over here. Let me just kind of zoom out. If I make it, that is the turn point there, and then that goes straight ahead, that goes straight ahead. I can then get these guys who are in this line that maybe want to go straight ahead then into a different lane. And that should hopefully then slowly start to clear that backlog. I'm really happy with how this is going, because all the backlogs are now pushing. It literally ends there. It's still up to there, that bridge, which is fine, because we're going to have the initial traffic coming out of these export areas. But the tail backlogs right now are disappearing. It's all gone from around here. Very happy. We're still going to have this backlog, but the fact that it's not extending and growing is a really good sign. And now more vehicles are going straight ahead, which should slowly clear that backlog. Right, progression. Progression is now happening. Now, we do have a lot of traffic lights come down here, up, around, and there. But at the minute, it's a healthy flow. It's moving reasonably, which is pretty cool. Shall we get rid of the traffic lights just here? So that then to continue, because I can see eventually the backlog moving forward. Oh, look at the amount of vehicles now going straight ahead, as opposed to turning left. Alright, good stuff. It really does mean that I'm pushing the problem to a different location. That's also what can happen most times. But the fact that we're seeing positive steps pushing forward is good enough for me. Now we have a lot of traffic coming down here. So we don't really have any dedicated routes. So why is the reason they're coming down this one? That's what I've got to try and remember. Now if they come down this one, they've got to go across and then do a right-hand turn to then cut in. Whereas this one can come straight down into there, yeah. I don't know whether it's wise to build a highway. And what type of vehicles are they? They're all returning to facility, going to the gourmet fish stick factory. Oh no, return to facility, return to... What is facility? So is it not worth me... I mean, the export area is there. Is it not worth me building an additional export area? That would eventually allow them to hop on the train network. I wonder if that might be a possibility. Right, we got some traffic going on down here right now. So let's sort this out. So we'll allow you to turn there. You are the straight ahead. And the straight ahead. So at least you know what lane you need to be in. Yeah, right. I'm thinking that's got to be a method, right? So bear with me a second on this one. If I put a cargo train line here, now granted it's completely out of the ordinary to place it here. Right. But I just want to see if there's any benefit for me actually dropping it here. Now my thought process is going through this right now, guys, is if I dropped one there, these guys around here could drive to and from here rather than having to go all the way down there. Now I know they have one here that they can utilize, and it does get utilized. It actually does. Now what side of the road? This is also on the wrong side of the road. So it's also a case of I do something like that. And the same thing here. To create that little loop going around so they can get to the right side of the road. I'm just interested. That's all I am with this one, is interested. And we'll see how that plays out. But now we're filtering more traffic through these areas because, again, we're filtering traffic out of other areas. Like I said earlier, it just pushes the problem onto another location. And then we see a line of traffic trying to filter through here. Now, we have traffic lights there, which could potentially be an issue in the long run. Which I think that's where the backlog is initially stacking from. So give it some time to clear. Is that slowly moving? That bit of backlog is slowly moving out. The fact that I clear this means it pushes the traffic into a different area as well. So that just kind of generally happens. But how's this area over here then? Right, it's now moved down a bit further from that bridge. Slowly still pushing our way through. It's a never-ending vicious cycle, but the fact that we got the cargo up and running over here is glorious. And now a lot of the vehicles are trying to make that little bit of a left-hand turn right now. So we're getting there. Slowly, we are getting there. We have some issues over here. Now these guys are coming out to make that left-hand turn to go into that direction. So what is the point of this road? Is that a one-way road? It is, yeah. Right, okay. So if I deleted that road, which means that I have to come down this way to go around, I've almost created like a little roundabout in many ways. So hopefully it'll kind of keep the traffic flowing rather than stand still in that section. How is that area that I set up over here right now? Oh my goodness me, it's gone. It's all gone. Right, where's it moved the issue to though? No, it's actually all gone. Like that solved that issue. That really did. But yeah, we could really do with something additional down here. But it's not a big issue right now for me to be concerned about that. So I think I'll just leave it for now. This is becoming an issue again. So what I'm thinking of doing is doing some bypass roads. Right. Just doing some simple bypass roads. Now I could do what I did over here. You know where I kind of created that bridge that went over? I could maybe this underground tunnel, because it's a lot of issues with vehicles coming down and trying to do that turn, which then backlogs those guys, which backlogs those guys. Well, if I came from here, had additional road, it went under or over and then connected to there. So it's literally only a way to get to that section. Or if I did do a 2-lane road, and then that can come down here to go that way where that was going straight. I don't know how much demand there is for that. There's only one way to find out though, isn't there? Now this is going to be pretty interesting. Right, this is going to be pretty interesting. So if I brought this road down to here, and then I came off with a single lane road like that. Okay, again, bear with me on this. And if I cut in like that with that, now this is where the anarchy comes into play again. There we go. Straight across and down. So the thought process behind this is a lot of these guys are coming down here doing a right hand turn to then do a left hand turn to go across. If they could then potentially drive straight over ahead and get into this area, sweet. It alleviates this junction and this junction, vehicles trying to get across there, and then kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Stop then vehicles who are coming out wanting to do a left-hand turn to go in that direction, and same down here, bam, that way. By having that road in, it kind of cuts through there, off they go. I then utilize the middle road, which disperses a bit more traffic. It could not work, but it's going to be in right now as a little bit of a test run. So this is our little test right now, and over here is our little test as well, to ultimately see what gets used. Now the fact that if no one drives to it to kind of get on there to get out of the region, that's fine. But if a train can approach here, drop off some vehicles here, that eliminated those vehicles getting out of there, driving through this monstrosity. So it kind of worked to that extent for there. Another train coming in. So it might not be a lot of trains, but every vehicle helps at this point. Every vehicle does help. Now we're getting a couple of vehicles passing over, so it is useful. We're getting actually more vehicles exited in that area, if anything. Oh, then again, look how many people are going across that bridge right now. Yeah, we've definitely seen a lot more. Which then hopefully reduce some of these vehicles. So what's the traffic flow these days then? 65%, boys. Interesting. Definitely interesting. So how's it over here then? Right, this has gone a lot. The backlog leaving the area right now is not even there. It's just a backlog entering this area right now, which is good to see. So that is now all moved. We have technically solved this section. We still have the little hiccups here and there to contend with. But if I set then all these other little areas up where like that is the turn-in for that one, then that is straight over. And just here we have the turning road and straight over. So by doing that, it tells them that if they are wanting to go straight over, they can't use this lane. So it should kick out a little bit of traffic leading to where it needs to lead to. But we're getting there. We're getting there. And once more traffic is cleared, I can then get rid of the traffic lights here to make this continually flow through. But it's glorious. It is glorious. And then we have these vehicles here wanting to get out to wherever they want to get to. So there is traffic lights. Get rid of them. Try and keep it moving to the most part. The more traffic we can filter out, the more we can get some movements. And the backlog has now moved back up again. So, but still better than what it was. Still definitely better than what it was. 66%. We're now mid-60s on the old traffic flow. Right, okay. So this is now all moving then. There is no backlog coming down to here. How far does it reach? Oh, it's actually cleared that whole junction. So that was to some benefit, but then it comes at a cost. You're always moving the traffic to somewhere else. But get rid of those traffic lights, because that could be initially what the issue is. Without me diving too deep into them issues. And it does now mean I'm filtering a load of traffic down to this area to bring it in. So I might have to eventually get rid of the ability to exit that area, because it could, the traffic then funneling to go out could be tripping over the traffic funneling coming in. So it's a never ending, isn't it? There we go. You guys give way on that side. Keep that moving. Because worst case scenario, I'll just get rid of the ability to exit this area. And that is what we'll do. Right, is this train coming in? Yeah. So that's beneficial, man. Having that station there is definitely beneficial. I'm just kind of glancing over the little improvements that we've done this episode. That is working wonders. Getting rid of that roundabout is pretty sweet. But this area is just taking some sweet time. But it was here, the backlog. It's now gone. We've pushed it down to this direction. And I've actually kind of switched it. Where the traffic was coming in, it's now gone back to going out again. Okay, not bad, not bad, not bad. I could also do a little kind of road that comes off there into that section to eliminate the turn going in that direction. Right, humour me, boys. Humour me right now. Right, if I did that, and I can see there had been a lot of traffic, so I'm going to bulk it on the exit here into a free... Is that a free? No, that's a 4-laner. Into a 3-laner here. Just so we can decipher the traffic in the directions. The possible 3 directions. And let's see what we get out of that. We got... Oh, hold on. We got a train jam right now? Ah. So that is... That line there is technically not a train's width. So that is something that I kind of missed with that little section there. Oh, is that... Oh no, what's happened? What's happened? What's going on, boys? Calm it down. size. Again, a bit all over the place. I got to remember that's got to be a train's width as well. Otherwise, you're getting no flow of train traffic. And then you got some big issues. So let me try and delete this train to move that one through. Then the rest will follow. My bad. My bad there. Right. Okay. Okay. That should filter the train traffic through again. So yeah, by having this then, just for now, filters in more traffic from there. So then I'm going to go up and do a left and cut through all this. Some of the people can drive through there. But I might cause issues around this as they're trying to get into the right lane and the correct lane to merge over to that area. But that will take some time anyway to still understand what they're trying to at least attempt to do. And is that train traffic okay? Yeah, the trains are... they're all derailed right now. Look at them. They've all literally derailed. They don't know what they're doing. They don't know what they're doing right now. But it will update in just a moment when that train traffic kind of appears out. But it is the correct lengths. We're all good. The train traffic can come in at the minute. It just can't currently exit. Because of that derailed train. And I can't select it either because we're kind of underground. I don't know what it's doing, but there will come to a point where it'll despawn itself. So I think I'll just leave it to that. I think I'll just leave it to that, boys. Alright, good. Good stuff. So getting rid of traffic lights here then has now cleared that little backlog that was leading through this. And we can kind of now keep it going in both directions. Which is really handy. So traffic flow now then, 65. So we've increased it a bit. But we're still nowhere near the perfection that we need. The train traffic is now moving. As you can now see, the backlog is now being pushed forward. A couple of them are now despawning, but they should all start moving again. This new feature right now should reduce the amount of left-hand turns that are happening here to filter the traffic through. All still trying to exit. But it should solve our issues as time goes along. Not bad, mate. Not freaking bad right now. Not freaking bad. So, guys, I think we're going to end it for here. We've done some vast improvements. Some are a little bit unorthodox. Some are not going to remain. They're just still there. We're testing the waters, seeing what's happening. And again, that's the biggest thing I need to stress is the fact that anything I do takes so long before we start to see any benefit or any negative reaction from it because of how long the game needs to simulate. But we're slowly but surely we are getting there. Slowly but surely we're making some sweet progression. 65%. It's the highest we've had it at this point. There's still a couple of red areas here and there. We're going to filter out traffic a bit more. But when you clear one problem and move the traffic from one area, it always gets pushed to a different area. So it just takes time to fix. And on that note, guys, we're going to end it for here. Hope you did enjoy this episode. If you did, smash that like button down below. And until next time, guys, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.